3, 2, and 1. I think we are live and ready to go. Hello, this is Kimberly Warren with MidCity Excellence, and this is our Be Blessed, Stress Less program. Let's give it up for our teachers that are here today. We have Judy, Van Vickle, and Jerry that's going to come in a little bit, and they are our art team. And we're going to have a little poetry in just a little bit. So we're going to do some teasers before we come in, and we'll have them just take a break and come back in about 10 or 15 minutes. Right at 4:30, we'll start our Be Blessed, Stress Less session. So go and get a piece of paper, go and get a marker, and or some colored pencils. That's all you need for today's lesson. So everyone, you have 10 or 15 minutes to get ready for our first ever online art therapy class. So we also have Dee Dee Kilgore, and she's going to tell us about some resources across the World Wide Web in order to keep your minds thinking, and also kind of take a break from the news and take a little break from all of the humdrum of what's going on with COVID-19. We're going to give you some fresh ideas on literacy today. And then starting off with, we have Carol Pittman, who has been a longtime teacher for the St. Joseph School District. She is going to share some short stories and poetry to warm your hearts and your souls. So although our doors are closed at 604 South 20th, this is almost our 20th year providing services, and know that our hearts are wide open to help you as you weather the storm and as we get through this pandemic environment together. So right now, let's give it up for Carol Pittman with our Be Blessed, Stress Less poetry and short stories. Woo-hoo.
Okay.
Take it away, Carol.
All right. Thank you. Hi, kids. I sure did miss seeing you on Wednesday night. I have a couple of poems I thought you might like. The first one I chose because when I was your age, I had to sleep with my little sister. And sometimes that was not fun. So I didn't know if you had to sleep with your brothers and sisters or not, but this is called Two in Bed. It's by Abram Bum Ross. When my brother Tommy sleeps in bed with me, he doubles up and makes himself exactly like a V. Because the bed is not so wide, a part of him is on my side. So I don't know if you're playing any basketball or not, but this poem by Marcy Ridlon is called Fernando, and it's about him playing basketball. Fernando has a basketball. He taps it down the hall, then leaps up high and shoots with care. The fact a basket isn't there, he totally dismisses. He says he never misses. My crazy friend, Fernando. Now, I know a lot of you play games and sports, and this is kind of an older poem, so they talk about some games you might not play, like follow the leader, leapfrog, and tag. I don't know if you play those games now, but anyway, the problem in this poem is about a boy who always wins. You might know somebody like that. I play a lot of board games and I know somebody who always wins. But anyway, this is called Harvey Always Wins. Every game that Harvey plays, Harvey always wins. Everybody knows he will before the game begins. Follow the leader, leapfrog, tag, whatever game we choose, as long as Harvey's in the game, then Harvey doesn't lose. We hate to play with Harvey. He loves to spoil our fun. As soon as the game is over, he shouts, "You see, I won!" Harvey's always showing off. He wins when he competes. It isn't that he's better. It's that Harvey always cheats. Ooh.
I like that one.
What do you think of that? Yeah. A couple of poems my dad always said to me. The first one's called The Purple Cow by Gillette Burgess. I never saw a purple cow. I never hoped to see one. But I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see than be one. And the other one is a poem that he said whenever we had peas for supper, which was often. So he said this poem. I eat my peas with honey. It makes them taste so funny. Oops, I goofed it. Let me start again, Kim. Okay? I eat my peas with honey. I've done it all my life. It makes the peas taste funny, but it keeps them on the knife. Okay. Kim, you can blip that one out if you want to. Okay. This is a poem with some math. I know you love math, so I wanted to put this poem in. As I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Every wife had 7 sacks. Every sack had 7 cats. Every cat had 7 kittens. Kittens, cats, sacks, and wives. How many were going to St. Ives?
437.
No, that's not right.
Hopefully we'll have her on with the math.
Okay, well, I hope she remembers that I was the only one going to St. Ives. Okay. Let's see. We're waiting for summer, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
this
75
was
today,
summer.
though. I don't know if it'll hold.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to keep going?
No, keep going. Do one more.
Okay. Have you ever smelled summer? Sure you have. Remember that time when you were tired of running and doing much, and you were hot and you flopped right down on the ground? Remember how the warm soil smelled in the grass? That was summer. Remember that time when the storm blew up quick and you stood under a ledge and watched the rain till it stopped? And when it stopped, you walked outside again to the sidewalk, the quiet sidewalk? Remember how the pavement smelled, all steamy, warm, and wet? That was summer. Remember that time when you were trying to climb higher in a tree and you didn't know how and your foot was hurting in the fork, but you were holding tight to the branch? Remember how the bark smelled then? All dusty, dry, but nice. That was summer. If you try very hard, can you remember that time when you played outside all day and you came home for dinner and you had to take a bath right away? Right away? It took you a long time to pull your shirt over your head. Do you remember smelling the sunshine? That was summer.
That's what we long for, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we
I
want.
saw myself on the dock of the bay fishing with the breeze coming by, and it's nice to be taken away. And we want to thank Carol Pittman for sharing that with us, because right now our minds have been tuned so into the latest on COVID-19 and how many are surviving and how many are diagnosed and how long you have to wait. It just gets overwhelming, and it's nice to be taken away and to relax and to find that peace and calm that we're looking for. So hopefully Carol will come back in the following days, every Tuesday and Thursday. Again, this is our Be Blessed, Stress Less. And if you are watching or listening in, this is MCE TV 777. How do you like that? So every Tuesday and Thursday we'll meet from 4:30. Some will go till 6, some may go till 6:30. And right now we are presenting art and short stories and lots of poetry. And then we will also have an art class. So make sure you have your paper and a marker or some pencils or crayons or whatever, because we are going to meet the Van Vickels, and they are leading the way for art expressions. And we want to thank our sponsors, Missouri Arts Council and the National Endowment for the Arts. It is very important. We don't realize how the arts help us heal mind, body, soul, and spirit, especially in difficult emotional times that are uncertain. It's hard to keep a schedule. And yesterday the internet was down all over the city. And so some things are just so unstable, but it's good to have a consistency of friends. And it is also good to be able to heal in many different ways. So right now we are going to introduce Deidre Kilgore, and she is going to share some informational tips and strategies and resources, since we are looking for things to read and good books to heal the mind. And so welcome to the show. Dee, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad that everyone else is doing well that I can see, and hope that everyone who's watching is doing well as well. I have been a reading teacher with the several school districts, and so know that it's important for your kids to keep reading. And so I came up with some of the ideas that I used to share with my families to try and make reading together fun and not a pain in the neck. Okay, so first one would be just read to your child. Read to your child. Read them anything. Read them the newspaper. Read them the cookbook. Read them any book they hand you. It doesn't matter if they understand it. They might just enjoy listening to your voice. Another is to read alongside your child. So they're reading their books, you're reading your book. You're setting a good example, and they can follow, and you can help them then with words or whatever. But they see that reading's important to you, which will make it more important to them. Another one would be to share reading with your child. You read a chapter or a page, and they read a chapter or a page. Especially if the book is difficult, this can be a helpful way. A lot of times kids' interest really exceeds their ability to read. So they want to read a book that's really too hard for their ability and their word decoding skills. So if you read a page or a paragraph and they read a page or a paragraph, it eases the tension a little bit, and you're there to help them through. Listen to your child read with appreciation. Congratulate them when they have read a difficult passage or a difficult word. Have them read to a younger sibling. Even if they're reading a book that is below their reading capability, it's helping them read better. And reading aloud to a younger sibling can be a really fun way to read. And read in short blasts if your child's having difficulty and they don't want to read for very long. See how long you can read the first day. Maybe the first day you make it through 5 minutes before they just have a meltdown. Okay, mark that. Make a mark on your fridge. Make a mark on your a chart, whatever you want to. And then the next day say, okay, let's see if we can read just a little longer. So they're trying to do their best and exceed what they've done in the past, and they can see growth that way. So those are a couple of ideas. Another one is post a word of the day on the fridge and have them spell, or a couple of words a day, depending on the capability of your child, and have them say or spell the word or use the word in a sentence before they can get in the fridge, or put it on a favorite snack, but have them using some of those words throughout the day, kind of as the password of the day. You could make it more fun that way, maybe. Main thing is, when they start getting really frustrated, their ability to read is going to diminish. It's going to get less there, and you're going to get frustrated, and it just turns it into a hateful situation instead of a loving and nurturing situation. So let your kiddo pick the book, as long as it's not something dark and bad, whatever. But pretty much let them pick the book, because if they've chosen it, they're going to be far more willing to try and read it than if you say, here, you have to read this book. So anyway, those are some ideas. Now, to get books, because we may have read all the books you've got in the house, you can join the St. Joseph Public Library. They're offering a free card for those who don't have a library card currently. You can either call 812-303-0838, email at revel, R-E-V-E-L-S, at sjpl.library.mo.us.
Was there a phone number? Oh, there you go. You're awesome. So that's 232-4038. And then there is an email, but our revels, R-E-V-E-L-S, M-R, or M Revels at sjplib.mo.us. Yep. We'll put that on our Facebook page at MidCity Excellence or at MCE St. Joseph. You can find all this information, but that was 816-232-4038. What is that card called? Just an e-card?
It's an e-card, a library card, but an e-card. Okay. And I hope that it allows you to have access to everything internet-wise the library has to offer. When you get on there, they offer all kinds of databases, and there's ancestry connections, there's reading connections, there's audiobook connections. You can get an ebook. As far as kids go, some of the more important connections I see are Tumble Books, which Tumble Books has different levels. They read storybooks, and the pictures become animated, so you're looking at the book as it's reading it to you, and it highlights the words that it's reading. So in its own way, it's kind of like closed captioning, which is another good way to help your kiddo learn to read. Turn the volume down and make them watch it closed caption if you can. They also have Tumble Math, and they also have a teen version of Tumble Books. So there are chapter books available that will be read out loud, and again, whatever's being read is highlighted so you can follow along. There's audiobooks and lots of ebooks, and not just for kids. I love listening to audiobooks when I'm working on craft stuff or taking a walk. And I listen to the books, and I really enjoy that a lot. So I would recommend that as well. There's another site that a lot of teachers with the district have used. It's called Epic. And if your teacher has used that, you would have the password and such that she would have given you on that. Or you can sign up for a free month. It's a pretty cool website, very much like Tumble Books. So that's my information.
That is fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna all send you an inbox with our questions. No, send an inbox to MidCity Excellence MCE.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. And we may just formulate a list.
I would be happy to answer.
Okay, go to @MCE St. Joseph. Inbox us your questions. Again, read together, do a word for the day on the fridge. Let the student have some choice on what they like to read. They may like to read Black Panther. They may want to read something about motorcycles. And so let them have a little choice, unless it's dark and eerie and telling them to do something in our juvenile delinquent category. Then I think that's when the parents have to kind of step in and say, hey, fill your mind with something positive. Kids, also age appropriate materials at Tumble Books, audio books, Epic. And again, the number for the library e-card that Dee Dee talked about was 816-232-4038. That's 816-232-4038. She also had an email, the mrevels@SJPL. We'll put all that on the screen. So we're just at about 15 minutes for our teaser now. There you go, there you go, there you go. Oh, push that closer to the camera. There you go, mrevels@sjpl.lib.mo.us. And I think, thank you. Let's give Carol and Dee Dee a hand. Thank you so much for sharing so much knowledge from their years of teaching. We have English, we have French, and we have years of special education. However we can do it to keep the kids engaged, and also the parents are finding out some wonderful ways to learn with the kids. So we are right here about 4:30, and we're going to introduce Jerry and Judy Van Vickle. Drum roll, please. So we are going to talk about poetry today, and we're going to also have an art class. So if you're just now tuning in at 4:30, please get your paper, your markers, colored pencil, crayon, whatever it is, or if you're doing it on your iPad, you can use your finger to do the lesson. But before we do that, this is our art and poetry and short story session. Be blessed, stress less. You are tuning into MCE TV 777, sponsored by the Missouri Arts Council and the National Endowment for the Arts. And we thank you for joining us. Jerry and Judy, take it away.
I am Ebenezer Bleezer. I run Bleezer's Ice Cream Store. You have never seen, I have flavors in my freezer that you have never seen before. 28 divine creations, too delicious to resist. Why not do yourself a favor? Try the flavors on my list. Cocoa Mocha Macaroni, Tapioca Smoked Bologna, Checkerberry Cheddar Chew Chicken Cherry Honeydew, Tutti Frutti Stewed Tomato, Tuna Taco Baked Potato, Lobster Lickety Lima Beans, Mozzarella Mackenstein, Almond Ham Meringue Salami, Yam Anchovy Prune Pastrami, Sassafras Sukalaki Hash, Succotash, Butter Brickle, Pumpernickel, Pomegranate, Pumpernickel, Peach Pimento, Pizza Plum, Peanut Pumpkin, Bubblegum, Broccoli, Banana, Bluster, Chocolate Chop, Suey, Cluster, Avocado, Brussels Sprout, Periwinkle, Sauerkraut, Cotton Candy, Carrots, Custard, Cauliflower, Cola, Mustard, Onion Dumpling, Double Dip, Turnip Truffle, Triple Flip, Garlic Gumbo, Gravy, Guava, Lentil, Lemon, Liver, Lava, Orange, Olive, Bagel, Beet, Watermelon, Waffle, Wheat. Try a flavor from my freezer. You will surely ask for more.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. You're making me hungry for ice cream. My trusty assistant, Pastor Ward, is in the kitchen. So I told him, bring me some popsicles. This is the closest thing I have to ice cream for my nieces and nephews. If you have ice cream in the house, this may be a good treat. So are you providing treats as well, Jerry? You got some ice cream there for us?
Yes.
He doesn't have any of those flavors, though.
Yeah. I love anything cocoa mocha, chocolate. I also love the cookie dough. Oh my goodness. let's not talk about that. Aspen's not open. I hear the big ice cream cone shop is opening again. I don't know if the Dairy Queen's open, but we have some popsicles. So thank you so much, Jerry. We miss your hands-on arts class and the Rubik's Cube Club, but technology's bringing us close together today. So next, presenting one lady who has taught for many, many years in a few different school districts and has impacted thousands of kids' lives. Our artiste flown in from all the way across the bridge down by the way from St. Joseph right now. We are going to introduce Judy Van Vico. Welcome to the MCE show.
All right. The reason we did Ebenezer Bleezer is because we are going to draw an ice cream cone bird. When it's all done, it will look kind of like this.
Oh,
Okay. Now,
that is fantastic.
we're going to start with the cone. And you guys know that cones can be pointy, or they can be flat on the bottom, or they can be in a dish instead of a cone. But we're going to do a real cone. And we're going to start with a V. And you know, if you go buy an ice cream that you like, they'll put it in a cone like this. And I'm going to draw the ice cream on the top. It's got a few drips. Okay, looks like just a regular ice cream cone. Now, I'm going to make another ice cream cone up here. And if you were sitting right there, I'd say, what do you suppose that is? That is the bird's beak. And I'm going to put something that looks like lips with two little dots. And that's the bird's nose. They don't have big stick out noses like we do. They breathe through those right on top of their beak. Now, we got to do eyes. And birds have funny eyes. They're solid black. And they've usually got a little light fleck that you see on them. So they look kind of like that. And I've had lots of parakeets. And the cool thing about their eyes is there's always a little line around them. Sometimes it's white, sometimes it's black, sometimes it's just there. Okay, now, when you put legs on your bird, you don't want to stick them out from the bottom of this cone, because the body of the bird ends about here. I had kids that would always try to stick the legs and the feet out the bottom, but those are just feathers. I'm not going to draw more feathers because we're going to cover some of that up. Now, here is, I want to show you a bird wing. This is kind of what a bird wing looks like. And here's the bird on top of it. This is from the back. Sometimes these wings cross because parakeets have great big long wings. So here is the top part. And the bottom part of that wing sticks out the other side. It's kind of like putting your hands behind your back and crossing your arms. Here's the wing feathers on the other side. Looks kind of funny, but that's what it is. Now, the feet of a parakeet are not like a chicken. A chicken has 3 toes in front and 1 in back. Parrots and parakeets have 2 in front and 2 in back. And that's so they can grab hold of the perch. That's how they sit. I can't get around there. So I'm going to put a V down here, and that is 2 parakeet toes. And I'm going to sit this one on a perch. If you've ever had one, you know that in the middle of the cage, there's always a perch for the bird to sit on. and it can swing back and forth sometimes, although the bird isn't. He's usually pretty busy. Now, when you color this, you can see what it actually is. Okay, so now we've got our bird sitting on a perch, but there's some things we haven't done yet. Parakeets always have spots on their faces. I had a yellow parakeet one time, and its necklace, that's what they call the spots, its necklace was white on a bright yellow body and face. Most parakeets have white heads, and these are called their necklace. And you notice if you ever go to one of the pet shops, you'll see the cage full of parakeets. And they're just beautiful. They're like jewels. They're all different colors. Okay, now, do you know what this is? I'm waiting for somebody to say something, and of course, nobody's going to.
Oh, it's a circle. Okay.
Yes, parakeets are very social animals. And if you put a female in the cage with the males are the only ones that talk. They won't, they'll just make bird sounds. So what you do is you have one male all by himself, and you hang a mirror in the back. And the bird will look in that, and he'll feed his reflection in the mirror. He'll talk to it. He thinks it's another bird, because just because he's beautiful doesn't mean he's very smart. Okay, what else were we going to put in? Oh, I wanted to tell you about color. Here they've got toenails that grab the perch too. Okay, parakeets can be blue, they can be yellow, they can be white, they can be, oh gosh, gray. I've seen all different kinds. This guy I made blue with a blue body and a darker blue wings. He could have been green. This one is green, plus a lot of other colors. It really doesn't matter. Now, what I did on this one for you older kids, I drew a checkerboard behind him, and every time I got to the line, I would change the color. Little kids, don't worry about that. You're just going to draw a parakeet. Now, I'm going to make this one with a dark necklace. And the thing about their nostrils, their nose, and believe me, this is sounds like I'm making it up, but it's not. If this is a girl bird, it will have a pink, I don't remember what they call that. If this is a boy bird, it will be blue. And you can kind of tell if you want to go buy one that's going to be a talker, you watch for what the color is. And that's just one way of doing that. Okay.
The girls or the boys?
Oh, girls don't talk. You've got to have a male. So you want one that has a blue, there's a word for that, and I just can't think of what it is. Okay, this is something else to add to your picture. Anybody know what that is? They've got to have a little water dish, and it hooks on the side of the bars, and that's colored blue because it's water. Now this is their food. They eat bird seed, just like feeding the birds outside. And they're messy eaters. I've seen them stick their feet in the seeds and flip, and the seeds go right over and out on the floor. That's just one of the things they do. And the other thing, I'll tell you about this, but you won't have ever seen one. This is called a cuttlebone, and it's from a fish, and it's long. It looks like a hot dog bun that's all dried out, and they chew on that all the time, and it keeps their beak from getting too long. Okay, let's see, is there anything else I was going to tell you? Oh, yes. Down at the bottom, I'm going to make something that looks like this. Have you ever seen those roly toys that if you flip with your finger, it goes back and then it pops up again? You can't make it lay down. We had one that was a penguin. So it was black and white. And it had a wing on it like this. I don't need. What happened was my parakeet saw that for the first time, climbed down off the perch and went over and looked at it and pecked it. And it flew back and then it came up and it pecked him. And you know, he never got close to that toy again. It only took one time. It was a pretty scary bird. Now, you color this with crayons or markers, colored pencils, whatever. And some of you older kids can color it with watercolor if you want. You should have some paints in your. Kim, that looks good.
Not too bad for a left-hander.
No, well, gosh, that has nothing to do with it. It's in your head. That's good.
For those that think that they cannot become an artist, give us some encouragement, because we may say, oh, mine looks, it's not balanced. It doesn't look like yours. But nature, we're not always perfectly symmetric, are we?
No, but you know, it's going to look pretty much like a parakeet because parakeets look like ice cream cones. So if you can draw an ice cream cone, you probably can draw the parakeet. Now, I know there's an art exhibit online, and if you finish coloring yours and you really think it's beautiful and you like it, submit it to Miss Kim and let her put it online. Be sure that your name is big on it so that we can see whose it is.
Yes, every Friday we're going to put new artwork up. So if you have a drawing, a painting, a sketch, even chalk, we've dropped off chalk, did many drive-by art drop-offs with Miss Judy and Jerry and their friends. So if you have chalk, you can go out and do sidewalk chalk artwork. Put your name on it, or put your name, have your parents take a picture of it and inbox us. We'll put it up on the art gallery. You have to have it in between Thursday night and early Friday morning. The themes can be anything, but 3 of the themes that we think are important for the Be Blessed and Stress Less time that we're facing coronavirus in our community. And one of the themes is bless and help others, because that makes us feel like our problems aren't as big when you help somebody else. It's also stress less, whatever that means. If it's reading, if it's poetry, if it's meditation and prayer, if it's reading the Psalms, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. If it's drawing and painting. So stress less. The other theme is wash your hands. And I know you've heard it 1,000 times. You can also add some other themes in, like don't touch your face or whatever, but bless and help others, stress less, and wash your hands. Go to our @MCE St. Joseph page, find out more. Thanks for the reminder. Again, every Thursday night to Friday morning, you can send it in earlier, but every Friday, we're gonna upload our online gallery. It's not a competition, it's just to share, plant something positive during this time. Judy, anything else?
Would you want me to fill more time with a silly story about one of my parakeets?
Yes.
Yeah. When our kids were young, we had a blue and white one named Max. And Max would say 17 different phrases. The trouble with the parakeet is that they don't really understand what they're saying. So he would mix phrases up sometimes. And one of the things he said was, what did he say? He got to, Mama likes French fries and Grandma's the best. Those were two of the things that he said a lot. And when Grandma would come, she'd sit down at the piano with Jerry Jr. and Mary Jane, and they'd all play. She was a piano player, and the bird would start talking. Well, he did, but he got the phrases mixed up, and he said, Grandma's a French fry. And the music stopped, and Grandma looked at him and she said, what did that bird say? It was too late. He'd already said it. Okay, that's all I got.
That is fantastic. I used to have a parakeet, and I just reminded myself his name was Jerry.
Did he talk?
He did a lot. I mean, there was 3 or 4 kids in our family of 7 kids at the time. And so he whistled a lot. I don't remember any phrases that he said. We only had him for about a year. But anyway, Jerry was our bird, Jerry Van Vickle. Not really.
Made out of me.
Oh my goodness. Let's see your finished parakeet.
Oh,
Judy, do you have a finished one?
well, oh yes. Tell you what, I told my daughter-in-law that we were going to do this. And she said, oh, kids, do you remember? That's my grandkids when we did this with Grandma years ago. So and this one is colored. It looks like a harlequin parrot because it's all different colors.
That is beautiful. Take a picture of that and we'll put it up on our art gallery.
The checkerboard.
Beautiful.
Okay.
You're so creative. Take pictures of those if you don't mind sharing them. We'll auction them off at the MidCity auction.
That's fine.
Well, we're just at about 45 minutes for our show today. So again, we want to thank Carol Pittman and Dee Dee Kilgore. We thank Jerry and Judy Van Vickle for tuning in. Later on, we may have Miss Lamina Davis with LD Data Solutions, but she's not going to give all the tips and trades online because you have to private message her, because some of the tips we only want to give to parents on how to monitor internet interactions with your students and make sure that those hackers don't get in your Zoom accounts. Teachers may want to hear this too. Make sure that the settings are proper, and then also that you have a proper space for your kids, because some of them are carrying laptops downstairs, upstairs in the bedrooms, and they have access to the internet like they never have before. There's some great learning that's going on. Dee Dee is going to put some information up on our page in regards to the library e-cards and the epic and tumble books and audio books, and then we'll share artwork. But also there's some not so nice things going on the internet. So we want to make sure that there's no child predators out there having access to our youth and damaging their minds and their self-esteem. And also we just want to make sure that there is age-appropriate learning going on. So we want to thank you again for being part of our series, Be Blessed, Stress Less. I want to thank our sponsors. On Thursday, please come. We'll start with the teaser again about 4:10, 4:15 at MCE St. Joseph, and we will have Drumline that day. It's okay. We'll have Debriana. She's just sending me a message. We'll have her come on that day with some poetry. She's one of our students. We will also have a mental health therapist, a counselor, talk about stressing less for the teens, for the kids, but also for the parents. So great things coming up. We have a little praise dance coming up too. So please save the date. Don't be late. This is MCE TV at 777. Go to at MCE St. Joseph inboxes, private messages, your special questions for the artists and also for the guests. There are some art galleries around the world that are opening up their doors to us now, never seen before without admission. And so we will put those links up as well. I'm Kimberly Warren. Anything in closing, Dee Dee, Judy? I think we're ready to move on and go and get ready for the next show. So at this time, we're going to close, and we want to thank you for supporting MidCity Excellence Porch Ventures, Sidewalk Chalk Art Ventures, and also our online Be Blessed, Stress Less series. God bless you all and have a wonderful day.